Hi, Jeanette and Rand. I'm here at 1222 Arlington Lane in San Jose. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, a little over 1,500 square feet, listed at 1.9, built in 1960. One thing actually before I go into this home, I do want to mention what I failed to previously at Oak Knoll, is that Oak Knoll had a really nice neighborhood feel. It's a peaceful, quiet street. Or just all the surrounding streets, and all the houses are maintained, so you don't get necessarily some eyesores, especially in the yards, and that's kind of the case here. As you can see, the neighborhood. That one had a definitely a more, I would say, upscale feel. The one thing about this property, so I'll move on now to Arlington, is that it is right here on the corner of apartment complexes. So not a huge deal, but just something to note, because sometimes it does impact resale value, location, as you know. So when you have like a densely populated residential homes next to apartments, sometimes that can bring it down a bit. So anyhow, we're here in front. I'm gonna have to do some work with my shoes here because they're requiring everyone to take them off.
No, they can both be the same. They can both be, you can print it the same. You can print it with the gray. If you've already printed it, don't worry about it.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, so here we are in the front family room. So you'll see the layout is pretty nice in that it flows and you have separation to the bedrooms, but here you have your first living area. And then this is not the largest kitchen. You could probably fit a little tiny island in here. But for being 1,500 square feet, it is noted that there actually is distinction between a family room and a living room. And so here's the other living space. So there's been some upgrades throughout the house, some new paint. So you probably still do some work, but not much. Long term, probably want to do a bunch, but in the immediate, you wouldn't need to. The one thing to note, though, is that from a dining room standpoint, you really just have this area here, so not terribly ideal, but at least there's enough space here to have your dining room table. If you didn't have it, it would be pretty, awkward to have all this space with nothing. So it is the designated dining area. So now we'll move over to the bedrooms. This looks to be the original hardwood floor, and some minor staining here, but looks like it's been refinished. So we can look at the disclosures if there's any like moisture issues. But all these rooms are about the same size. That was bedroom number 1. Here's bedroom number 2. Again, not the largest rooms. And I didn't note in the previous property, but even though at Oak Knoll, the rooms were very close together and small for a large house, if you really wanted to, you could knock down one of the walls because they're so close to each other to make one bigger room, so combining 2 rooms. And if you were to convert the downstairs, you would still preserve 5 bedrooms, or you could have 6, but the 4 upstairs would be smaller. Okay, so there's the second bedroom, and then here's the first full bath. Some minor updating would be needed in here. Looks like the tiles are new. And then the master. So again, 1,500 square feet. The master is not going to be terribly large. They've got, I guess, different flooring everywhere, and that's probably something you want to address at some point. But they've got carpet in this room. The bedroom that we just came out of had some, that looks like laminate, and then the other rooms had the original hardwood. And then even some of the tiling in the bathrooms are different. So the master bathroom is, again, proportionate to the actual bedroom, not the largest, so single vanity. And then the shower. So this is the master. And then lastly, the final room. This one's a little bit larger than the other two, but as I mentioned, here's some hardwood. Actually, I think I've already been in this room. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, I was already in there. So we've seen all 4 bedrooms. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my shoes and then we'll take a peek at the yard. Okay, sorry, thanks. It's nice and warm in here. So out here is again some laminate flooring. So I think I know your idea in looking at some of these properties that are on the smaller side. This one, as you can see, all this space here you could expand, and it it kind of works out nicely. You basically just follow the border of this concrete to give you. This would probably be. I should have brought my laser measurer, but I'm not even going to try to guesstimate how much more square footage, but you can kind of get a sense that this would open it up quite a bit if you were to add. The yard is not terribly large. This is a 6,000 square foot lot, so enough room for this grass. There's not much landscaping out here, and they probably didn't take the best care of this grass. But it's low maintenance at the moment with the bark back there and then this grass. So in this particular property, the electrical pole, you can take a look at that document that I sent. Even though this pole's not on the property line, it's still pretty close to the house. I mean, the main thing that, the biggest concern is like the pole's actually falling and then causing a fire, and if it would fall into the house. In this case, it's not far enough to fall in the house, but it is close. And you got the wires coming through the yard. So not ideal, but again, at least it's not on the actual, within the property lines. Okay. I think that's it. Thanks, Jeanette Rand. On to the next. Bye.